Mommy doesn't look too well and isn't moving.
Worried about my daughter who had gone out of touch, I called, and my granddaughter answered. Her voice was trembling with urgency.
Daddy drowned Mommy in the bathtub and then went somewhere.
What followed was a shocking revelation for my granddaughter. Rushing to my daughter's house, I was met with a horrifying scene. I thought to myself, to let my daughter suffer like this? That man, I will never forgive him. I gritted my teeth, determined to send my son-in-law to the depths of hell. Carla's 5th birthday is coming up soon. I wonder what she would like for a present. 3 days passed since I sent that message to my daughter with no reply. I wiped my glasses as I gazed at the family photo in the living room. I thought to myself, I wish we could see each other more often. I wonder if they're all doing well. My name is Dorothy Reed. After being widowed, I've been living alone, working part-time. I have a daughter named Jocelyn. She was always kind and excelled in her studies, landing a job at a major corporation, my pride and joy. Jocelyn married 6 years ago. Her partner, Tom, worked at a major advertising agency, an elite in his field. His cheerful and lively personality reassured me, allowing me to entrust my daughter to him with peace of mind. Soon after their marriage, they were blessed with a daughter, Carla, prompting Jocelyn to quit her job and become a full-time homemaker. The distance between my home and my daughter's family is about a 3-hour drive using the highway, not a distance that allows for casual visits. When Carla was little, Jocelyn used to visit home quite often. But the last time they came was a year ago, right after Carla's 4th birthday. I remember having this conversation with Jocelyn then. Is Tom doing well? Is he helping out with childcare properly? He seems to be busy with work lately, so childcare has mostly been left to me. But he does adore Carla. He's even known as the ideal involved dad at his workplace. I could imagine Tom being busy with work. When I told her to make sure she had support, my daughter laughed, saying, I know. According to my daughter, Tom's reputation as an involved dad had reached his superiors, leading him to be assigned as the leader of a significant advertising project targeted at the parenting generation. Wow, that's impressive. Hey, Jocelyn, now that childcare has settled down a bit, why don't you start working again? You were shining when you were working. Yeah, maybe someday. I felt a bit uneasy at my daughter's vague answer, but whether a wife works or not is a matter for that family. With that thought, I decided not to press the issue any further. More than half a year passed without my daughter visiting. I tried inviting her several times, but was turned down, so I thought I shouldn't intrude too much. Then one day, while I was out in town for a rare reunion, I saw my son-in-law, Tom, on my way to the station. He was walking and talking intimately with a young woman. However, seeing him in a suit, I assumed it was work-related and did not approach him. After that incident, I had an errand that took me near my daughter's family's home. Wanting to see them, I messaged, "Can I come over?" but received no reply. Thinking it would be okay even if they weren't home, I decided to head directly to my daughter's house. When I pressed the intercom, my daughter responded with a surprised voice. "Mom? Why are you here?" "Did you see my message? I was nearby and thought I'd stop by. Is now a good time?" Then there was silence on the other end of the intercom, followed by Tom's voice.
"Sorry, Mother. It's a bit messy here, so I'll clean up right away."
"Tom, sorry for coming unannounced. I'll wait." After standing there for about 10 minutes, the front door opened, but when I saw Jocelyn, I was taken aback. She had become so thin. It was as if the last time I saw her was a lie. "Jocelyn, you lost a lot of weight. What happened?"
"I was on a diet."
Then Carla came running up, saying,
"Grandma!"
Tom greeted me with a smile, and we went into the living room. We spent the visit chatting while watching Carla play with her toys. Tom was as affable as ever, showing concern for me, an impeccable person. At one point, Jocelyn got up to refill the coffee. I followed her and asked her while she was boiling water, "Jocelyn, you look pale. Are you eating properly? Are you feeling unwell?"
"No, I'm fine, really."
However, I noticed something concerning her wrist poking out from her sleeve. I grabbed Jocelyn's arm, pulled back the sleeve, and there it was, a painful-looking bruise. "Jocelyn, what happened here?"
"She fell and got hurt. Jocelyn can be quite clumsy, you know."
Tom had appeared at the kitchen entrance, chiming in. "Fell? Is that true, Jocelyn?"
It's true. She says she tripped over Carla's toy and fell, right, Jocelyn?
With Tom's intimidating words, Jocelyn nodded and moved away from me, saying, "It's true, but I'm okay now." The conversation in the kitchen ended there, but I continued to watch over Jocelyn and Carla carefully. Carla seemed as cheerful as ever, but Jocelyn appeared somewhat subdued and a bit tense.
Dorothy, we have plans to go out as a family soon.
With that, I had no choice but to get up and say, "Well, I should be leaving then." On my way home, I texted Jocelyn, "If there's anything, you can talk to me about anything." Her reply was, "There's nothing. I'm happy, so don't worry." Despite the unease I couldn't shake off, I returned home. 2 months after my visit to my daughter's family, I messaged Jocelyn multiple times without a reply, and she stopped answering my calls. I thought to myself, she used to reply to messages. Strange not to get through on the phone either. Are Jocelyn and Carla okay? I wanted to see their faces to be sure. Thinking this, I decided to visit during the evening when they were likely to be home. I sent a message to Jocelyn saying, "I'm coming over now," and left around 6 p.m. On the day, I stopped at a service area and called Jocelyn again. This time, Carla answered the phone.
Grandma? You know, Mommy's turned a strange color and is moving.
Startled by her words, I asked my granddaughter as calmly as I could, "What are you saying, Carla? Is Daddy there?"
Daddy put Mommy in the bathtub and then went somewhere. What should I do, Grandma? Mommy won't answer me.
Hearing the desperation in her voice, I realized that this was no small matter and hurried to my granddaughter's side. An hour later, when I arrived at my daughter's house, I was speechless. Opening the front door, I was met with a horrific scene. The house was a mess, with vases and dishes broken and left as if a burglar had entered or someone had rampaged through.
Grandma, this way. Come quickly.
Startled by my granddaughter's call, I hurried to the bathroom where she was. There, my daughter Jocelyn was in the bathtub, still clothed and lying on her back. "Jocelyn, stay with me!" I hastily reached into the bath, but the water was ice cold despite it being the dead of winter. Jocelyn's face, which I managed to lift, was beyond pale, turning white, and her lips were purple. It seemed her face was just above water, as she was faintly breathing. I spoke to her multiple times, but with no response from my daughter, I immediately called emergency services. While waiting for the ambulance, my granddaughter Carla ran to me.
Grandma, Mommy said there's something important in her bag.
Carla pointed to a navy blue bag hanging on the wall in the living room. Upon checking, I found her insurance card in the wallet and took the bag with me when boarding the ambulance. After arriving at the hospital, Jocelyn was promptly attended to, and Carla and I sat in the hallway. "Carla, is it true what you said about Daddy drowning Mommy in the bathtub?" Carla nodded with a pale face.
Daddy sometimes hits Mommy and then takes her to the bathtub. He tells Carla to stay in the living room, but it's always scary. Mommy looks so scared.
Carla. As I hugged my granddaughter, she began to cry.
Daddy said if you tell anyone, you'll never see Mommy again. Will I not see Mommy because I told you, Grandma? I don't want that.
I comforted Carla, rubbing her back and saying, "It's okay, it's okay." Then a nurse informed us that Jocelyn had regained consciousness. She was still groggy, giving me a weak look. "Mom, check my navy blue bag. There's something." And saying that, she fell back asleep. I checked Jocelyn's bag again more carefully and found something shocking. With trembling hands, I confirmed what it was and clenched my teeth. I thought to myself, how could he do this to my daughter? I will never forgive that man. At that moment, I resolved to make my son-in-law Tom pay. Afterward, I could not reach Tom by phone, no matter how many times I tried, so I asked a trustworthy acquaintance nearby for a certain favor. 3 days after my daughter was taken to the hospital, I received a call from Tom.
"I heard from a neighbor that Jocelyn was taken by an ambulance. The woman with glasses who was with her, that was you, right? Are you at the hospital now? Please tell me where you are."
I didn't tell him the hospital's location, but asked Tom to meet me at a cafe near the station instead. After leaving Carla with my acquaintance, I waited for Tom, who arrived panting.
"I'm sorry, Dorothy. I was on a business trip, so I'm completely lost. What happened to Jocelyn? Please tell me which hospital she's in, quickly."
Tom appeared genuinely concerned, but I was no longer deceived by him. "I heard everything from Carla. You did something terrible to Jocelyn, drowned her in the bathtub, and left. How could you do such a thing? Tom muttered,
What?
and then laughed nervously.
Oh, Dorothy, Carla said that? Surely you're not taking a child's words at face value.
Are you saying Carla is lying?
Since she started kindergarten, she sometimes says things like that. Like she has a fantasy or a lying habit. We've been troubled by it too.
Then I silently played a voice recorder I had taken out of the bag. The voice of Tom yelling was heard.
Divorce? You useless wife. A failure like you needs to be taught a lesson. I'll discipline you in the bathroom like always.
And other unbearable verbal abuses were recorded, followed by the sound of splashing water and Carla's crying. As Tom's face turned pale, I stopped the voice recorder.
What is this?
Jocelyn had recorded everything that day. Maybe she anticipated this would happen, though I doubt she expected to be rushed to emergency.
What? She did such a thing? This is outrageous.
Finally, showing your true colors, aren't you? Tom looked frustrated, but then he tried to calm the situation with a soothing tone.
Now, Dorothy. This is ultimately a matter between my wife and I. It was just a quarrel that happens normally. Don't you think you're making a big deal? It's bad for Carla, don't you think?
This isn't the only evidence. There's also this. What I spread out on the table were photos that definitively proved Tom's infidelity. Pictures of him cozying up to a young woman, entering a hotel, and more. The woman was someone I had seen on the streets a few months ago.
Jocelyn also did this?
As Tom scrambled to gather the photos, I explained calmly. She had a detective follow you. The other woman is apparently a colleague at your company, right? Moreover, Jocelyn kept a diary.
What?
Jocelyn's diary detailed how Tom had been controlling since the beginning of their marriage, forbidding her from working. It also mentioned that his behavior became strange after he became a project leader a year ago, and when she confronted him about it, he hit her for the first time. Since then, he had been treating her terribly under the guise of discipline, telling her that if she didn't want Carla to get hurt, she had to obey him. She was also forbidden from contacting me, and her phone was checked daily. However, Jocelyn was gathering evidence for a divorce while pretending to comply with Tom. The evidence is finally all together, so I'll bring up divorce today. That was the last entry in her diary. You got furious when she asked for a divorce and did something terrible. Then you left her in the cold bath and went to your lover. Isn't that right? When I pressed him hard, Tom defiantly justified himself.
I'm smart and competent. Everyone says I'm the ideal dad. I'm providing for Jocelyn and Carla, making a happy home. Are you going to destroy that over something trivial?
At this point, I could no longer contain my anger. Jocelyn was anything but happy, and Carla having to watch her mother be mistreated? I will not forgive you. You'll see hell for this. Then Tom, face red with rage, shouted back at me.
You old hag, what can you possibly do to me?
I've already done what I can. To the bewildered Tom, I explained that I had mailed the audio of that night and the evidence photos of their affair to his workplace.
What? What did you say?
Just then, Tom's phone rang. As he answered, his face turned increasingly pale.
It was my boss. They're removing me from the project. You really did it, huh? I'll get you for this.
With his face twisted in ugliness, Tom yelled at me. I calmly took out something from Jocelyn's bag. This is Jocelyn's wish. Please, sign here. It was a divorce document, already signed by Jocelyn.
Don't joke with me. I won't sign this. I won't let them go.
Watching my son-in-law start to tear the divorce papers, I sighed. Then, we'll see each other in court. I'll make sure you divorce my daughter, but first, you'll have to pay for your crimes.
What?
I had someone call the police as soon as you showed up at this cafe. They'll be here soon, so just stay calm. Tom then began to tremble, turning pale.
You've even called the police? What do you think will happen to my career?
I don't care about that. I will never forgive what you've done. Never show your face to me, Jocelyn, or Carla again. The police arrived and Tom was taken away shouting. Afterward, the divorce was finalized. Tom was arrested for his terrible treatment of Jocelyn. He was eventually fired from his job after being found guilty, thanks to my complaint. The affair partner left the company after becoming uncomfortable with the rumors. Tom is still undergoing trial, cut off by his family with no one to help him. Jocelyn, now recovered, has sued both Tom and his affair partner for $20,000 each in damages. As for us, Jocelyn has returned home with Carla to my house. Recently, Carla has started smiling again, and Jocelyn has found a job living life vibrantly. We're looking forward to enjoying our family's future, supporting each other through everything.